Do you want to come to my daughter's birthday party in February?
Unfortunately, the answer is not yes. Do we have any questions?
Hi, I'm Alexis. I'm a professional photographer, and I'm about to switch gears to work with brands and organizations that focus on engaging and inspiring children. Since you do both studio work and children's books, how is the creative process different for you, and what advice do you have for creatives working with children's brands?
I don't know if I have any advice for people working with children's brands, other than I think sincerity matters. One of the reasons, not that I've ever tried to dissect my books and figure out why they work, because I'd be worried about not being able to put it back together afterwards, but I do think one of the reasons that they do work is that I don't try to write the sorts of books that I think kids want to hear. I'm trying to entertain myself, and for me, in a lot of ways, there's no separation between the fine art studio work that I do and the picture book work that I do, because they all are stories that I want to tell. It's all work that I want to generate, so I treat them exactly the same way. It's not like I sit down and say, right, what are the types of things kids want to hear? So I don't know if I have any advice to offer other than just sincerity. I think kids are much more intelligent than they're often given credit for, and can see very clearly through thinly veiled other kind of motivations and thinly veiled morals and things like that. I hope that helps. Do we have any other questions?
Hi, Oliver, thanks. I love seeing your art around New York when you do those pieces, so looking forward to the Highline one. What inspires you then? What keeps you, creating these ideas that just inform yourself, but also your children? But I mean, where do you look to? What do you look to keep that going?
I mean, I don't, what inspires me? I think I'm a curious person. I've always wanted to understand how things work. My dad always said the surest sign of intelligence is not retaining facts, that just proves memory, but curiosity and imagination. And I think I've always just been curious, and I enjoy making art. What motivates me to keep going? Somebody once asked me when I was in art college, was like, how do you get over creative block? And I was like, it's easy. You just, realize you're going to be dead soon. And nobody else is going to do it. But I think it's that. It's like I have a lot of things to say and to make and questions to ask, and I've only got so much time.
We have a question back here.
I don't know where that's coming from, so.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to know where the show is, where the gallery opening happened last night. We're over here.
Oh, there. Okay, hi.
Thank you, Oliver. That was brilliant morning dose of wisdom.
Oh, thank you. Was anybody here last night? Or there last night? Okay. Well, I know there was some people still with me in the bar at 1:30 a.m., but what was the question?
Where's the show?
Oh, the show's at Bryce Welkowitz Gallery on 24th Street, 10th Avenue.
And we'll send out the info and the reminder email afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, great.
I have a question.
All right.
Hi, my name's Lucas. Thank you so much for sharing. My question is, you, regardless of your hangover, you were an excellent public speaker, and you told your story very well audibly. But what I'm assuming is that you didn't start with that. You started with your art and writing children's books. Can you talk about the shift when you took your expertise and you were like, I'm going to start speaking about this and going to engagements, and I'm really assuming this is not the first time you've spoke on stage.
No, it's not the first time I've spoken on stage, nor the first time I've spoken on stage hungover. The first time I ever gave a public talk like this was an absolute disaster, because I did what apparently is like a quite common rookie mistake, as I just pulled my website up and started to talk through that. And the guy was a thing called Sweet Talks in Ireland, and the guy Richard Seabrook, who started that, he put me after and was like, that was terrible. Like, thanks, Richard. And then I wanted to do it again. It was like, that wasn't good enough for me, so I went about it different. I was like, okay, talking about my work, how do you do this? And so I decided to, like anything, whoever says never judge a book by its cover is wrong. People do it all the time. I mean, especially as a room full of designers, you absolutely judge a book by its cover. But I thought there's a way in which I can do this, which is interesting to me and interesting to the people listening. And I realized quite quickly that it's storytelling and it's theater in a lot of ways than just talking through your work. So then I did that. I did it a couple times and have honed it and realized that when you're up here, people don't want you to fuck up. They don't want you to all go wrong. So there's a great willingness, and that is relaxing. So thank you all for laughing at my jokes, by the way. That makes me feel better.
Okay, one more question.
All right.
Hi. Oh, Jesus. I don't. Oh my God. I'm not sure I
Third
need
time
a mic.
lucky.
I don't know. Hi. I'm also from that spanner in the works where it's causing hell for Brexit and all that. Your view is obviously quite huge, and you know, space is a big theme. But we're both from this really tiny place, but we don't live there. I just want to know how that's influenced your kind of process and your life. You know,
Interestingly, it's a lot. A lot of the work in the show at the minute features, deep sea divers, astronauts, but there's also a lot of Northern Ireland references, because when I was doing some research in the overview effect and things that astronauts have said about looking at the Earth from the distance of the moon, I realized was pretty much the same language I'd been using to describe Northern Ireland from the vantage point of New York for about a decade. It's when removed from that tiny little corner, it became very obvious that nobody really knew or cared. And it just seemed like such a tragic waste of energy. So the two things are very absolutely correlated. And I think there's that great astronaut quote where, I can't remember who said it, but he was like, I just wish I could drag every politician up in my spaceship, get them to look out the window and go, look, you son of a bitch. All right, bye.
Thank you.